So right now, we invite you all to close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Inhaling all this love that surrounds us. All the blessings that God has reserved for us. We know that the majority of the healings that we can receive are received through our breathings. Let's elevate our thoughts to our dear Jesus, asking, Master, you know our challenges, you know our needs. You know why we are here. Help us understand the lesson that Emmanuel brings to us tonight. May we apply his words into our daily activities. May the old human being that still lives within us take this opportunity to blossom and evolve. Dear Master, we ask you that while we study this chapter, that our home may be blessed, that all who live with us receive the same blessings we're about to receive. That your peace be our peace, that your peace be inside our home. Amen. So tonight's chapter from the book Our Daily Bread is 154, and the title is Those Against Us. What shall we say in light of such things? If God is for us, who can be against us? This verse was written by Paul in his letter to the Romans, chapter 8, verse 31. So what we see Emmanuel doing in this book, he picks just one small verse of the New Testament or Old Testament, and he develops those handful of words into a whole chapter, kind of a detailing in depth what the message that we should get from those simple words. So here's the chapter. Whose question is still a relevant topic for today's evangelical community. And you see that as I kind of go through the chapter, I highlighted some of the parts that I thought that were more relevant to me. And this was written 2,000 years ago. And we see that how many times we feel like things are just too heavy, they're just too hard, that we need to be reminded that God is for us. Awaiting our efforts, an immense field unfolds in which the Master, Christ, awaits our purposeful collaboration. Frequently, however, many workers prefer to neglect their commitment in order to argue with wrongdoers along the way. And how many times we see that instead of welcoming the challenges that we face, the learnings that we need to take during this life, we rebel against them. We condemn people, many times people that live in the same house as we do. We complain about our jobs. We neglect our health and then accuse God of all the illnesses that we have. So instead of focusing on what we can do, we decide to argue, to fight. Unexpected obstacles appear before our worried eyes. Old friends leave us. Yesterday's favorable situations metamorphose into cruel hostilities. Huge amount of workers flee from the endangerment, fearing the storm, and forgetting about their responsibilities. So when I read this, I thought, how many deceptions we have? You know, in this past almost 2 years almost of COVID, 18 months, how many things have we changed inside ourselves? How many people that we took as very close to our hearts disappeared? How many things that we thought that were important are not as relevant as they used to be? So things change. And we change as well. And that's what he's saying, that many times when we face the endangerment, the fear, the problems, our first reaction is to flee, is to run. And then we forget our responsibilities. The responsibilities that we probably committed when we're still in the spiritual realm before reincarnating. However, we have not been given the work in order to surrender to panic. It's interesting the verb that he uses, work. So as the spiritists, we know that we are all here on this planet to learn, to grow, to become better people, to become not only academically better, like developing our intelligence, but mostly developing our moral. So we are not here to play, to have fun. We're here to work. So I'll read again. However, we have not been given this work in order to surrender to panic, nor has the master sent us to work with the objective of confusing us with external experiences. Which external experiences? All the material stuff that we are immersed in. We have been called upon to build. Build what? Build something good, not only for us, but for the people around us as well. Of course, we must expect 1,000 eventualities each day that arise from opposing forces that make construction difficult. And in the Gospel according to Spiritism, you guys probably remember that chapter that says that life has like tons, thousands of little difficulties that feel like small needles that keep kind of picking on us, that bother us all the time, that may distract us from the right path. And this is not with me or with you, it's with everyone. Our day of struggle will be surrounded by troubles and fatigue. This is inevitable in a world that expects everything from the genuine Christian. We are in a planet where evil prevails above the good. We know that. We are in a transition moment to a better planet where in opposite, the good will prevail over evil. So with that, we face a struggle all the time. Why? Because our present is a reflection of our past. Maybe not the past in this life, but the past in a previous life, where We didn't know exactly how to take care of our family. We didn't value our opportunities to work. We didn't take care of our health. So some of the things that we live today happen because of these life's choices, but the majority of them come from previous lives. And if we think about the Christians of 2,000 years ago, we are in a much better shape because at least we don't need to get and face lions. Our lions have different names today. Our lions may be called depression. Our lions may be called divorce. Our lions may be called cancer. These are different lions. But these are lions that we need to fight with courage, the same way that the Christians faced and fought 2,000 years ago. Due to this imperative, amid the threats and misunderstandings of the pathway, it's up to us to ask joyously, like the apostle of the Gentiles, if God is for us, who can be against us? And I want to go back to this specific question that Paul wrote on his letter to the Romans. And this letter is a very deep letter, probably one of the most important in that Paul wrote, and where he gives a lot of hope. He was probably in his third trip in Greece, and he was giving consolation, like a warm hug, to all the Christians that were fighting and suffering for survival. He talks about God, he talks about Jesus. He reminds us that we are never alone, that Christ himself, the governor of this planet, the most perfect being that has ever incarnated on this planet, came himself to be with us, to teach us, not with words, but through his examples. He who didn't need to be here, he who didn't make any fault, suffer more than any one of us, just to be with us, just to give the example of what we should be, or what we should do. So as I said, Emmanuel has this ability to extract just from a handful of words the whole chapter, unveiling this important message that we need to settle inside ourselves. In each one of the chapters, and I invite you to go back to the book, to chapter 154 later, and read by yourself and look at the Old Testament. What exactly, the New Testament, not the Old, the New Testament, what was happening at that time. So as we read this chapter, as I was reading this chapter, I thought, who can relate to the situation? Who would raise their hand saying, yes? There's sometimes that I go like, I cannot take this. This is just too hard. I want to run. I want to cry. The pain is too big. I don't think I can handle it. I think all of us at some point in life, we felt that. And Emmanuel tells us that, saying that unexpected obstacles appear before our worried eyes. So friends leave. Maybe they leave for free will. We thought that they were very close to us, and suddenly we find out that they are not really the people that we thought that they were. We had a good health, we had a beautiful family, and suddenly COVID hits our lives and everything changes. Our health is not the same. Some of the people that were dear and close to our heart, we cannot be around anymore, either because of the physical distance or because they passed. We feel that our days are again in the same crazy routine, that right now life and work doesn't have a balance anymore. Everything is mixed. We cannot run from our homes and blame the work. We are forced to be around those that are part of our family, the cell that we build, those that we need to give an extra amount of love, respect, forgiveness. And we know that living socially inside our homes and outside, it's not an easy task. It's very difficult because it's through the other person that I learn my limitations. How the other person will show me the points where I cannot be patient, the areas that I am unable to forgive. The other person will be able to trigger points that will bring me anger, that will make me cry, that will take me out of balance, sometimes for something simple. And we see that in our daily life happening more and more, where people are drowning into anxiety, into depression, into suicide. Because somehow the relationships are broken. And instead of fixing it, as Emmanuel is asking us right now, go fix it, do not flee, we decide to run. So as I was thinking about the challenges, as I said, I think each one of us can list a few. And we know that there's no bigger or smaller challenge. For each one of us, our challenge is big enough. Because that's the challenge, the area that we need to develop. That's why we are here, to practice love in that specific area. So when we feel under pressure, when we are afraid, what do? As Emmanuel said, we tend to run. We find the back exit. And as he describes, huge amount of workers flee from the engagement, fearing the storm and forgetting about their responsibilities. So my marriage is in danger. My marriage is difficult. I give up. I find a way out. My son doesn't listen to me. And I decide just to discharge. I know that I'm facing a difficult illness, but instead of looking for answers, for doctors, for psychological help, I give up. We have responsibilities here. We have responsibilities with us, with ourselves, but also with the people that surround us. Living life, being here, is a blessing by itself. It's an honor, it's an opportunity that we will need somehow to show accountability later. We are responsible for our actions, good and bad. And we are also responsible for the actions that we do not take. Because not taking an action is already doing something. But why are we here at this place at this time? Is it by chance? Why I am the daughter of my mother, the sister of my sister, the wife of my husband, the mother of my son? Why do I work at XYZ place and have this difficult boss? Why is it so hard for me to find a job? Why I am suffering so much with this illness? Why am I alone? Why am I alone? And then Emmanuel answers, we have been called upon to build, learn, and serve. So we are in the right place at the right time. We may argue with that. We may not be happy with it. But his point is that we need to embrace it. So that's what he says. However, we have not been given this work in order to surrender to panic. Because when we panic, we freeze. We don't do anything. Nor has the master sent us to work with the objective of confusing us with external experiences. So it doesn't help if I am panicking and I try to solve my problems with a bottle of whiskey or any type of recreational drugs, legal or illegal. No. Because that will just confuse us. That will take us out of the path. And then we will need to do it again. We are here to learn. Build takes will, takes action, takes perseverance, takes discipline. It's sweat and tears. We know that everything that we have built so far, it took a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to build, but it's just very easy to destroy. So what it means to build, to learn, and to serve? It means not forgetting, but not prioritizing what is perishable. If it's money, if it's power. No. The moment that we are living right now is to invest, is to focus on who I am as an eternal spirit, as a being. How I can become a better person by doing better things to others, by helping others to make a difference. Nobody's gonna remember after I die the type of car that I had, or if it had this title or the other title. I will be remembered by the difference that I made in other people's lives. How many smiles I gave, how many words of consolation, how many tears I dried. Everything will pass, except our actions. That's our heritage. The actions, meaning our choices. Our choices will be with us forever. And that's what we're going to be remembered for. So instead of panicking, and this is an advice that we learn in business administration, just focus on what you can control. It seems so easy, but it's not. It's not easy. And sometimes the only thing I can control is my mind. I cannot control my son. I cannot control my husband. I cannot control my boss. I cannot control many times my body. But I can control what I think. I can control what I feel. I can control how I react to the situations. And remember that we are never alone, ever. And this is the message, the consolation that Paul is reminding us tonight. That if God is with us, who can be against us? God, the most powerful being, the creator of the universe, the only one, the one, is with us. And the best way to connect to this magnificent power is what we are about to do right now, which is prayer. Through prayer, I'm able to receive everything that I need. So when I pray, instead of asking for perishable stuff, let's ask for wisdom. Let's remember that everything we seed, our actions, will have consequences. Good actions, good consequences. Bad actions, bad consequences. Let's continue to serve inside our home, outside our home. And by that I mean doing everything that we do, small or big, doesn't matter, but do it with love. Do it with attention, with care. Showing that it matters, remembering that we are instrument of God's love. So right now we're gonna start the Passe, and I ask you all to close your eyes. Take a deep breath. This moment that we're gonna receive exactly what we need. Jesus asks us this moment, what do you need? What do you want from me? So let's tell our Master what exactly we need right now. Do we need peace? Do we need courage? Do we need perseverance? Do we need wisdom? Do we need health? Dear Jesus, here we are together in a big chain of love, asking for your help. You know our faults, our limitations better than we do, as well as our needs. We ask you, dear friend, to forgive our trespasses, to help us build a better person of ourselves, to help us be the instrument of your love anywhere we go. May we be recognized through our actions as instruments of your love. We ask you, dear Jesus, that all the people that are in our homes, around us, receive the same help that we are receiving right now. May our guardian angels take care of each one of us during the evening, during the night. May we receive everything we need to recuperate, to be stronger, and to succeed in all the choices, the commitments that we made. Stay with us, dear Jesus, today and always. Amen. Thank you, everyone.